For me, this is a different award. It's not like an All-American or like a setter or whatever award, but I think this is just a lot bigger because of what it represents. First is going to represent my family and like, growing up and who was always pushing me when I started as a little kid. It goes from family to like coaches that, again, same thing, like my family just kind of like nurtured me and like going in the right direction, working hard, staying home, playing here for UH, you know, watching like all the different UH teams play. Uh, Never was a ball girl though. But that and then going to USA Volleyball and representing not just my family but the state as well. Uh, yeah, and continuing to do that. I think that's the big thing, like bringing back to Hawaii to my family and the state. So.
And to be able to be celebrated with Heather, and like Kara mentioned, two players from the University of Hawaii in the same class. I mean, that is so significant out here in the middle of the Pacific. What does that mean to you?
And we played together the whole time. So I mean, for me, that's cool. When I found out like with her too, I know you're like, hey, Laura's trying to get a hold of you. I'm like, I know she keeps calling, but I don't know what for. Had to do with something with like USA Volleyball, but I don't want to go back. I don't want to. And then she finally just texted. She's like, well, I didn't really want to do it this way. I was trying to call you, but you didn't answer your phone. She's like, you made blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, so sorry. You should have just told me over there in Cali, Heather. Jesus. But yeah, I think it's awesome.
Hey, coach, just one quick one from me. What do you remember about, or how would you describe the connection you and Heather had as players from way back?
Anything from behind, slides and ace. I think my big thing is we're looking at each other, and we're in like row two and we're standing right there. I said, Heater, just go for an egg. Guarantee a girl's gonna jump with you. And then Ty will have nobody on the right side. And then we're just like, yeah, yeah, okay, good pass. We'll run it. And then boom, two girls are just like full block jump. And then Ty's over there by herself. And we just turn, look at each other and just start laughing. So I mean that connection. I mean, I think a lot of the stuff we had, okay, if I'm just talking about sets, like most of them were just like, yeah, she's up there, I'm running her behind, just go slide and yeah, we just get a point easy. But and I think we both got along because I just think like our I'm not saying like everybody else, but I think just the pride of like just getting on the court and playing hard. I think some people had to like learn how to do that. But yeah, that's the things I remember playing with her. So
Celebrate that.
Yeah, it's been surreal. Like the impact of it and the significance of it, I don't think has hit me yet. Um, I mean, when I got the call, I called my parents. Of course, they did like the ugly cry, proud, like trying on FaceTime. It's so sweet. But just thinking back to I started so late. Like I started volleyball as a junior in high school. Like it wasn't like a lifelong sport, right? And then I think to echo with Robyn, like Dave was really the one that pushed me with USA Volleyball. Um, and I was terrified when he's like, "You're going to the tryout." And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm not doing it." But he believes in his players so much and he sees what's special in them. And he knew I had something that could go the distance. And to be able to, have this with Robyn, and like she was saying, when I saw her in California, they were here for the championships at Long Beach. And I was like, hey, did you talk to her yet? Because I didn't want to be the one to tell her. It needs to come from Laurel. I was like, talked to her. She's like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm like, okay. And like, just didn't say anything about it. But I'm really excited that I get to do it with her. She was always a pillar for me on the court and a leader for me throughout my entire time with USA Volleyball. And I think it's the connection and the familiarity with the islands and where we came from and the program we played for and what it means, what volleyball means to the community there. And I think that um, has stayed with me through everything in my career. So it's really special. it has made me start thinking about all the years with USA Volleyball and all the things that we did together, the teammates I played for, the coaches I played for. And I wouldn't have become the player I became without them on the court, the lessons they taught me, you know, the wins, the losses, coaches pushing me, teammates pushing me. So, you know, as much as this has my name on it, I don't get here by myself, right? Like Robyn definitely was instrumental in me being a great player because she was an amazing setter and she liked to set the middles. So that was, you know, a plus for me. When I talked to Laurel and I asked, you know, how do they, you know, come about selecting people for this? And she said, you know, they go through all of their statistics and they review it and the matches they played in, the tournaments they played in, places, finishes, things like that. And I kind of had to laugh because I'm like, I mean, till this day, even with coaching juniors, I'm like, if you put a score sheet in front of me, like a stat sheet, I would not know what it said. I'm like, oh, we did good, we did bad, they did this, they didn't do that. But I never really paid attention to that. So it was really funny when she's like, yeah, we reviewed. I was like, oh, well, glad somebody's doing that because it never happened when I played. But it is really a really cool thing. I'm really grateful to, you know, all the teammates and coaches and especially my family. And a lot of what I played for was for them, like the pride that they had or that I saw that they had in the moments that I was on the court and, you know, traveling the world and doing all of that. It's really special that, you know, they were the first ones I called. So it's a really cool honor.
We talked about it. I mean, with two players from UH going at the same time, it's a chance to represent Hawai'i volleyball, but at the same time, almost more importantly, it's a chance for you guys to acknowledge and to celebrate Coach Shoji and everything that he did for you guys. How much pride is there in that and knowing that two of these players that he helped develop being honored in the way that you guys are?
You know, I think it's got to feel good to him. He is a really good human, aside from a coach. I mean, I know a lot of people know him on the islands and have for years. You know, the community that he's built, the friends and everything there, and he's such a solid human being that it's just kind of extra special that as a coach he got to he really fostered like my career and pushed me to be better. I mean, I think I actually remember one time after I came back from my first summer with USA Volleyball, and I don't know if I was too big for my britches, but he's like bowing over there, like go take a timeout. Like he did not, he wanted everybody in the gym to contribute, to get better, and to be a part of the team. And it didn't matter, you know, what program you played with, like being with USA and going and playing internationally and coming back. Um, he he was about the unit and the team that was in the gym and making that the best it could be with the pieces that he had. And he did it very successfully for a very long time. And you know, it's really cool that I have that connection with him. And we've seen each other, you know, after in Anaheim and stuff, and then with his boys on the national team. It's just a really nice, like, full circle of that. And I'm really happy that he gets to, whether he's there in person or not, like he gets to know that he was a huge, huge part of where we are now and, you know, the journey that we were on.
Volleyball's taken you around the world, it seems. You've played in some incredible places and in front of some incredible fans, I would venture to guess. How does it venture back to your memories playing back here at UH, and all of those? And, you know, obviously now that this honor has come along.
You know, one of the things that helped me choose Hawaii, aside from the coaching staff and the teammates that were there, that was just, there was a level of connection that I played with some of them when I was in juniors, was the Stan Sheriff being sold out for a men's game and experiencing the love and the joy for the game itself, not for, you know, UH as a team. Yes, the community loves them, but it didn't really matter who was on the floor. And then, you know, seeing that that kind of tipped the needle and brought me to UH. And then being able to experience it and the respect that the fans have for the players. I'm not a huge like I'm very shy, so it's hard for me to like connect with fans because they're really energetic. And so like internationally, you know, you've got places like Poland, Brazil, Italy, obviously, like I played for there for about 10 years. Russia had a great fan base. The Chinese, when I was there, they have a great fan base. But none of them really have the feeling of family and respect and just the love of the game and great, like they're grateful to me that I'm contributing to it. I never really had that feeling anywhere else besides Hawaii. And I still think about it and I'm like, God, it's so cool. And I'll see like pictures of the girls or like watch games online. I'm like, oh, I remember that feeling, or like senior night where you're getting just covered with leis and going around. And even when they were here in Long Beach and taking the lap around the arena to like thank the fans for being there and supporting them, like it's such a neat like culture that Hawaii has, and just the gratitude that they show for the athletes and for the sport. Yeah, I've played in some really amazing places. Obviously, I think with the Olympics, that's awesome too. But it never really feels like home like it did in Manoa.
Congratulations first, because it's super significant that not only both of your players are being honored in the way that they are, but they're going in together. How special is this for you to be able to witness this?
Well, it's unbelievable because to get this award, you have to be really, really special. And looking back, I mean, I didn't realize it at the time, but I was coaching two of the all-time great volleyball players in America history. So it really means a lot for them to get this award. And I'm really, really proud of them and just couldn't be happier for them.
Can you take us back to, was there a moment watching them, whether it's in matches or at the practice court, where maybe it would hit you in the face as far as how special both of these players were, and not only how special they were, but how special they were playing together?
Well, I just kind of remember first time seeing Heather in the gym. I think it was like an open gym type thing. It wasn't, practice hadn't started, but I just remember her hitting the slide and looking at somebody and saying, "Are you kidding me?" Like I didn't really know how good she was when she played at UCSB, and so that just blew me away. And then, you know, the other story I tell about Robyn was like someone actually told me that I should take her. I wasn't really sold on her, you know, kind of undersized, you know, setter slash hitter. And, you know, I know she was a local legend, but she didn't really project as a great player coming out of high school. So, you know, it was like me not recognizing how great this person could be or was already.
How much did Robyn change your perception of scouting players, of knowing that, like you just said, this kind of diamond in the rough that, you know, maybe mentally more than physically is what led her to where she is, and understanding that?
Yeah, well, the thing it taught me was never underestimate a local kid. You know, sometimes you think they're not as good as the mainland, you know, big time kind of players that were nationally known. The local kids, there's something special about them. They just know the game of volleyball, and that was the case here with Robyn. It was just she just knew the game. She had complete awareness of just volleyball, and so that's the kind of thing that a lot of local kids have, and certainly Robyn had that.
Yeah, coach. I mean, you were just talking about Robyn, but you know, for her to be a local girl and for her to get this honor, you know, what does that show some of the other local players that are, you know, kind of this current generation of volleyball player? You know, what does that show them that kind of what is attainable out there for them if they, you know, put in that work in the gym and things like that? What does that kind of do for this current generation?
Well, I think she put Hawaii out there. I think people started to understand what Hawaii had and all their good players. Even now, if you look around the country, there's some amazing players playing at some amazing universities. Stanford, Texas come to mind right away, Nebraska. I mean, we got players at the highest level still. And I think Robyn was an inspiration for all those players. They all know about her and they all, I think aspire to be like her. And so it's just been an amazing transformation of the local kids into, mainstream volleyball in America.